Well, Dez Bryant has been without a team since he was released by the Cowboys in April, but now he'll suit up as a Saint. The two sides agreed to a deal yesterday. His one-year contract will pay him the base of $600,000 for the rest of the season, according to our Adam Schefter. Here's the quarterback, Drew Brees, on his new receiver.
I look forward to getting to work with him. I look forward to building a rapport with him. I look forward to getting him involved in this offense and just become a complement to, all the guys that we already have. It's not like you just hand him the playbook and expect him to learn it overnight. It's one of those things that's a process, I think, for any new guy coming in, especially a skill player. This guy's a jokester, this guy's that, and yet, man, everybody, when it's time to work, it's time to work. When it's time to have fun, it's time to have fun. We all want to win, and so at the end of the day, if we can bring somebody in here who can help us win, then that's great.
Saints reporter Mike Triplett joins us now, and Mike, Dez is in the building. He's also been at practice. What have you seen?
Well, Sean Payton did not say yet this morning whether or not there's any chance Dez Bryant could play on Sunday at Cincinnati. He said he hadn't even seen him go through a practice yet. So Thursday and Friday practice, they'll figure out if it's possible to give him a little small package of plays. I think it might be a long shot, but as Drew Brees alluded to in that video, Sean Payton said the same thing. They're not going to try to move him all over the offense and give him a big portion of it. They're going to find some role and package of plays that really suit him. And if you've seen Dez Bryant in the past, it's making contested catches. So I imagine we would see him a lot on third downs and in the red zone once he gets up to speed. And one thing Dez will really like, now that he's with Michael Thomas, he'll probably see a lot of number 2 defensive backs instead of that number 1 treatment he's been getting for years.
That never hurts. Mike, thank you. Time now for making smarter decisions informed by IBM Watson. Bill Polian back with us. And Bill, what are your thoughts on the addition of Bryant in New Orleans?
Well, I think it's a good addition given the loss through injury that they suffered at the position. If you think about how Dez is going to be used, think of Marcus Colston, who was a very, very good receiver for the Saints in years past. Contested balls. Dez doesn't separate very well anymore, but he doesn't have to with Drew Brees because Drew will throw him open. So what does he have to do? He has to catch the ball. He has to block. He has to be a guy who understands exactly what is required of him on every route. They'll give him a small package, so it'll be easy for him to acclimate at the beginning. And he probably needs to be quiet, too, because the other receiver is the guy that gets all the publicity, and rightly so. Michael Thomas is among the top 2 or 3 receivers in the league. So Dez doesn't have to carry a heavy load here. He just has to be productive.
And that's where he is now at this point in his career. Bill, thank you. Time now for our pass catcher spotlight. And we're going to start. Who's up today, Teddy? You get the glass half full version?
Yeah, let's go with the good matchup.
All right, how about who's got a good matchup?
I know he's new to the team, but I'm going to say Golden Tate of the Philadelphia Eagles, the new Philadelphia Eagle, because if you look at the pass matchup against the Dallas Cowboys when Golden went up against them, you're talking 8 for 132 and 2 TDs, a lot of broken tackles. A lot of defensive backs didn't want a piece of this guy. He was just too strong of a runner. So any way you can possibly get it to him quickly so he can run with that football. I mean, this is something where you got to exploit this matchup because Golden Tate has had success this season already.
Still getting my mind around the Eagles' Golden Tate. Just doesn't roll off the tongue the same way.
I had to think about saying that, actually.
It gives you pause. All right, Darren, a pass catcher who may struggle.
I'm going to go with Tyler Boyd with the Cincinnati Bengals. And the reason I say that, A.J. Green is out, Tyler out, Eifert is out as well. And now you have Tyler Boyd by himself. And you better believe the Saints are going to figure out who their number 1 guy is, which will be Tyler Boyd. And he will see a lot of double teams, a lot of safeties leaning over his way. And they're going to try to force Andy Dalton to go the opposite direction. I don't see Tyler Boyd having a big day. I think he has some catches, especially the underneath catches, but not those big catches that are down the field.
All right, sometimes they just don't matter, these matchups. Who do you want regardless?
That's Antonio Brown. You're going to see him playing tonight against the Carolina Panthers. And what they call them in Pittsburgh, I've heard Mike Tomlin say this many times, they're combat catches. Yeah. When you go up and you battle. In fact, they describe it as being in combat when that 50-50 ball's up there. For a guy that's not a big-bodied type of receiver and overwhelmingly physical, this guy comes down with them every single time because he's just got the instincts, the body control, slight little hand push-offs, those type of things. I'll take Antonio Brown.
You saying he pushes off?
Slightly.
Oh,
slightly.
Slightly doesn't
you got experience with that?
We'll leave
You ever
that
played
one.
against him?
No, never did. But I played with the best pusher offer, and that's Michael Irvin.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, legendary. All right, a potential breakout candidate.
I'm going to go with Vernon Davis with the Washington Redskins, 34 years old.
Wow.
But guess who they're playing, Adam? The Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah.
And the Tampa Bay Bucks love to give up big yards to tight ends. And no, listen, you're going to see Jordan Reed get a lot of double teams, and they'll try to find a way to get him out of the game. Vernon Davis will have some one-on-one situations. He'll find ways to exploit the middle of the field. Alex Smith will find him. Vernon Davis will have a big day against those Tampa Bay Bucks.
All right, when you survey the landscape, Shefty, with the pass catchers, what's the story you got your eye on?
You heard Darren talk about Tyler Boyd, and I think the big story this week is the fact that A.J. Green's going to miss some time here for the Cincinnati Bengals and how this team that's making a playoff push replaces him. And it's not just going to be Tyler Boyd. They're going to have to get some production out of their first-round pick, their former first-round pick, John Ross, and a guy by the name of Alex Erickson from the slot. And I think they're going to have to overcompensate with players from the run game like Giovanni Bernard and Joe Mixon making plays. It's not just going to be Tyler Boyd. It's going to be a whole collective effort because there's no way you just replace a superstar with one guy. Very difficult proposition for the Bengals.
All right, one more angle. How does it affect your fantasy team? For that, we'll offer up Matthew Berry, pass catcher. Love, hate.
Thanks, Wendy. Pass coach I love this week, Josh Gordon of the Patriots going against Tennessee. You know, Gordon was actually targeted on a season-high 29% of his routes last week. And now he gets a great matchup against a struggling Titans secondary. You know, Tennessee actually ranks bottom 8 in the NFL in terms of completion percentage and touchdowns allowed on deep passes. Obviously sets up nicely for Gordon, who's averaging over 13 air yards per target since joining New England. I expect Josh Gordon to exceed his ESPN projection for the game, making him a love. As for a pass catcher I'm down on this week, it's the recently traded Golden Tate. You know, even with a bye week, I'm not sure I expect Tate to be fully acclimated with the Eagles' offense just yet. And then you have the usage of Zach Ertz and Alshon Jeffrey so far. Tate unlikely to see the 28% target share he was getting in Detroit. Assuming the Eagles use Tate primarily in the slot, it's also got a tough matchup here. Cowboys actually giving up the fewest catches and the second fewest yards per game to the slot. I expect Tate to come in under his Week 10 projection.
Matthew, thank you. Look at this. The first time since he was injured, quarterback bingo is back.
Careful today, Teddy.
My finger
Oh,
and
no.
the bingo. Come on. Can we
is
get a
it ha-
championship bingo roll?
Bingo is
the
you know,
bees.
it can be tough.
Ah.
You're watching NFL Live, presented by USAA.
Yep.
After just 8 games as a pro, he lost his head coach and his offensive coordinator, both of whom were fired. In the latest edition of Detail, which is available later today exclusively on ESPN+, Peyton Manning breaks down Baker's performance in his first game with new offensive coordinator Freddie Kitchens. Here's an excerpt.
On this episode of Detail, I'll take a look at Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. He's pointing to him, hey, you got to block that guy. You block that safety coming down. Everything about this looks like run. Before the saying, it looks like run. The Chiefs are thinking it's got to be run. Why would he be talking to that receiver to tell him who to block? It's got to be a run play. And sure enough, it's a play action fake. Let's watch on this left side from the end zone. Watch number 82. That's what's called a bluff. He looks like he's going to lead block that linebacker, and he's bluffing him. And you try to get the linebacker to do just that. He's going to try to hit him and take him on, and you bluff them, tight ends or fullbacks, and you get out to the flat. And that's where the ball should go on this play. Now we're back to the sideline. As you'll see, that tight end, he bluffs that linebacker, and he's open in the flat. And that's where the ball should go. The receiver's kind of running a post, back to the corner, back to the post. Safety's back there. This safety's got good range, and these safeties in the NFL can cover a lot of ground. And I learned that the hard way a lot of times. And even when I was older, Ed Reed still gives me nightmares, the range and the amount of ground he could cover. And Troy Polamalu. I'm going to stop bringing their names up because I won't be able to sleep tonight. Just great range, great players. Both of them surely going into the Hall of Fame on roller skates. But we got to respect these safeties and their ability to cover ground, quarterbacks. And we want to get this home run, want to get this deep throw. He's just not open. He's not open, and that safety's there. Let's take our completion and throw it to our bluff, flat route by our tight end.
Really fascinating stuff. Almost as fascinating as quarterback bingo, really. And listen, we were a little unprepared. We did not have proper medical services when Teddy got hurt, so HR has asked us to be a bit more prepared, Steve. So, if anything happens, we're good. Listen, 32 balls, 32 teams. We're going to pick one. Steve's going to talk about the quarterback. Teddy's going to try not to get hurt, but it's a tall order.
Need a mitt? Put your hand in there. You need a mitt?
I got to get over my fears. Yes.
Okay.
I'll get
Go ahead.
You
You're
brave
all right.
one, you.
Actually, I have smelling salt in my bag.
You're good.
I have it in my bag.
I think I'm okay.
You're good.
All right. Oh, okay. See, the Dallas Cowboys. We're talking Dak Prescott.
Wow, that is perfect because on Monday night, Teddy, and you guys should chime in too because it feels like a guy that as he plays more and more, he needs to be on the run. He needs to be on the move. He likes to play quarterback on the move. And I think it's the best place for him. Maybe that's because he's most comfortable there right now because he doesn't have all the weapons. And play calling feels, kind of sticky. I don't know. There's something about it that I don't like. Obviously, everybody else sees the same thing. I'm just afraid that we've talked about this before. In the NFL, the job is to deliver the ball from the pocket. That's championship football. If you can run as well, great. But that's the job. And I don't know that Dak really either doesn't want that job or that he doesn't really like that job or maybe they're not calling plays for that job, but it just seems like a guy that needs to be on the move. Fine, as a young player, that's cool, but we know where he needs to end up, and I don't see that developing as fast as I'd like.
Steve, we got a lot of examples across the league now about new receivers coming into the system. Amari Cooper was one for Dak. How do you think that affected his decision-making process going into that game?
No, I mean, it's going to be helpful just because you got a guy that can catch the. I mean, to me, that's a net positive. It's not going to cause any grief. I knew in the NFL when I played, it's like if you're open, I don't care if you're my mother-in-law, you're getting the ball. I mean, it doesn't matter. So in the end, like, I think it's all positive that's going to help. But they've got to figure out. There's something. There's so many in great play calling combination, coach to player to receive, like it's just all this stuff that you see in the league right now. And Dallas just doesn't have that mix right now. So is it the play caller? Is it the quarterback?
Yes.
Is it the offensive line? Is it the you got to decipher that because something is not right.
That's all the above. All the above. Let me check out every last box.
It's interesting, too, because he's coming to the end of his rookie contract.
Yeah.
The Cowboys will have to make a decision, and you heard Jerry Jones this week on Dallas radio. He said he'll get his extension.
I firmly believe that.
You do, but
I do.
that can change. I mean, Jerry has been known to change his mind, but right now he says he's seen what he needs to see.
Can we move on from the Cowboys and the misery the misery I'm going through right now?
You want to force it to
Calm
that
down.
new
You'll
receiver.
be good.
Okay,
All right.
hey, make sure you don't hurt yourself doing this again.
I'm very
You're cautious.
about it.
Oh, hey, look at this one.
There you go.
I can't see it.
Oh! Hey, Steve.
See, he's in Dallas.
balls all over
Everything's
the
going
place.
wrong in
We got
Dallas.
baseball.
Holy mackerel.
Who did you
Cam
pick?
Newton.
This.
We already talked about him.
And we'll talk about him again.
Fine. Go ahead,
All right,
Steve.
Carolina.
Yeah.
It's the. I mean, to me, what they've done in Dallas is what they've seen success in Carolina. Is that we are going to meet these, kind of active, physical presence quarterbacks halfway. Cam, for years we talked about it, and I think that's the philosophical discussion we need to have: is can you win a championship
you're gonna
without
pick one.
being in the
We got
pocket?
three
Bill, you
that
tell
I
me,
recovered
can
here.
you win in the NFL today? Not in the pocket as a primary part of your game. Can you be a guy that just makes plays? Are there enough plays to be made out in the world that you can win a championship? I don't believe it, but maybe you think differently.
All right, Steve, clean up on aisle 2. We're moving on. That was well done. I think we were listening, but I think it was well done. Go ahead, Bill.
Apropos of my skill set, I did clean up on aisle 2.
Okay.
And so I have 3 here. I was afraid to go in there for fear of injury.
You don't know how to, Bill. You know in bingo you only pick one at a time.
I know, but so Darren is going to pick one of the 3.
What's going on there? What are you guys doing?
That works.
Hey, there
We're
we go.
messing it up.
Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Marcus
Mariota.
Okay.
You guys are like right down my alley. I was there Monday night. I believe that Marcus Mariota has a play caller. They're trying to run. They don't have the personnel the Rams have. They got the play caller that's like Sean McVay. They're trying to do the same thing. I saw that Monday night. I saw some unique things that can take advantage. I saw a beginning of something that I don't think the Tennessee Titans have had the opportunity to be around for a long time. Is to be kind of an inventive offense, and that was fun. I thought Marcus played well. I'm a fan of what they're trying to do in Tennessee, and I think it's going to play well. But they've got to get some more weapons. They've got to, if they're going to go in this rookie contract with Marcus Mariota and try to go like the Rams are trying to do, like the Seahawks did, like the Chiefs are going to do, is try to win one before you have to pay him $30 million, then you got to do it now. And they got to give him more support, which is going to hold them back.
All right, Steve, we appreciate you being a professional.
Hey, Steve.
Unlike some other.
I was listening to you outside of these two here.
Yeah, because we were messing up fixing your mess or whatever. However, listen, we prepared the cage. Though.
I will never do it with this thing again.
Okay.
I'm bored.
Steve, you're a good sport.
Again.
Thank you.
No.
We'll be back with you shortly.
We are the worldwide leader. Let's go.
Meanwhile, it was a less than stellar showing for the Cowboys Monday night against the Titans, and since then, Troy Aikman called for what he says should be a complete overhaul of the organization. But the show must go on, and Dallas heads to Philly this week for a Sunday night matchup with the Eagles, who are coming off a bye. And just like that, we find Adam Schefter in the Domino's pregame HQ. Adam, the Eagles thought they might have running back Darren Sproles back. What can you tell us?
Well, he suffered a setback at practice yesterday, and that was a couple of hours after Doug Peterson, the Eagles head coach, said that he expected Darren Sproles to be able to play on Sunday night versus the Dallas Cowboys. Sproles would have helped the Eagles on third down. He would have helped them in the return game. They just released their return man, DeAndre Carter, this week, who was claimed on waivers by the Houston Texans. And Sproles goes out to practice on Wednesday after being out of action since week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons and suffers another hamstring injury. A tremendous setback for both Sproles and the Eagles, who were both highly disappointed. Be a major upset if Sproles played now on Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys. Instead, he's undergoing testing on that MRI and looks like he'll be out a little while once again, Wendy.
Shefty, really tough timing. Let's turn to the Patriots now. They've been dealing with some injuries as well. Let's start with Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, he's been dealing with this back injury, the ankle injury, a whole bunch of ailments for Rob Gronkowski, who was inactive last week when the New England Patriots played the Green Bay Packers. And listen, keep in mind, the Patriots have a bye week after this week. So if they wound up resting Gronkowski another week, that would give him 2 weeks to rest up that back injury. And we'll see whether that's the course of action that they decide to take on Sunday as they head to Tennessee to take on Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans. As for Sony Michel, I think there's optimism that he's going to be available to play on Sunday for the New England Patriots. They believe that after missing the last 2 games due to an injury, that Michel could be back out there. He's been limited in practice so far this week, but again, I think there's optimism that he's going to be available to play against the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, which would be a big boost to the Patriots backfield. They've been using Cordero Patterson back there. They've been using James White, a healthy dose, but it looks like Michel is on track right now to play on Sunday, and we'll see whether he can make it through the week without suffering any setbacks.
No setbacks. Shefty, thank you. Ahead on NFL Live, it is our running back spotlights for Week 10. Leonard Fournette makes a return. We'll see how he may fare, plus who may break out and who should struggle. Next.